I mode. So, David, should parents give their children privacy?
Uh, yeah, of course. I mean, it's all about the humans. It's about the children's right? So I mean, children privacy is something that parents should give them as soon as possible because you know, uh, uh, they will have big benefits from giving them privacy. Of course, first, they can be more freedom. Some parents mention, some parents just really concerned about their uh 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 may the children be allowed to do something alone or to make something independently. But I mean, actually, the answer, I mean, in my opinion, it's yes, they can do. I mean, they can decide whatever they want. Maybe they might find it a mistake, but yeah, maybe from the mistake you can learn and learn more about from the lesson. So yeah, I mean, children privacy is really necessary for all the families. So next question: is education mandatory for all?
I think that is a very unnecessary questions because, of course, education is mandatory. First of all, when you talk about education, there is a wide range of stuff that you can teach your children. One of the most important thing is literacy, and that thing you cannot learn by yourself as a toddler, you know. And from the literacy, will help you a lot, like have gain access to information, newspaper, movie stuff like that. So just one aspect of education is already very plays a very big role in a human life. And then other stuff like math, uh, literature, English, science, all of that, in my opinion, they all play at least a role in your life. So to even ask a question if education is mandatory is unnecessary because it is straight up yes, it is, and it will always be mandatory. Should you tell everything to your parents?
Yeah, I mean, in my real life, I'm quite open with my family, but I mean, uh, not from that I don't sound like too much. I use actually I usually tell my parents about my current study, my current classmate, or something related to school or my study. So actually, not everything I usually talk with them a lot, especially some private things I cannot say here. But yeah, I mean, mm, yeah, it's actually my rights to say with them, so, right? So yeah, cannot. Yeah. So books are. Do you think books are better than television?
Well, when talk about books and television is a lot of people make let's make comparison between these two, but I think it's just not a fair fight. So for books, from novels, fiction novels to just novels, self help, biography, everything like that is written by one person. Usually one person, especially autobiography where it involves a whole human life, and the information from the books, from the book gives you is different from television. While books, mainly as a study purpose, they are different in the thing that they are from peoples who have lived their whole life to pursue this uh, profession, let's say that, and they use all those they know, all this thing they know and put into a book, and it contains every information they have gathered, every knowledge that they have gathered throughout their life. While television, they all broadcast, some most of them are live, and they constantly updating, they constantly changing, unlike books where it's just print on paper and you can't really do anything about that. Television is like a grocery store where books, they are more direct, they are like individual store, not a one-stop shop. So yeah, I cannot give if this and that is better than the other, because they are just too different. Children should get paid to go to school.
Uh, yeah, sorry, I completely disagree with your statement because yeah, I mean, going to school is the opportunity for all the students, all the children to maybe broaden their horizon. Of course, maybe they can get more friends and they can have the environment for them to play and also for them to learn new things, explore new things in school. So yeah, actually, the parents the parents also paid for the school for the government to let the children to go to school. So yeah, I mean, it's unnecessary for children, unnecessary like for all the parents to pay for children. Also, I mean, it is as unnecessary and yeah, I mean, I mean actually, it's it's really dumb that children should be paid to go to school. So yeah, that's my opinion about it. So yeah, next question. Is sometimes cheating okay or not?
Which cheating exactly? Okay, let's say education cheating. I am totally against most of the time on cheating, such as in a competition in your exam. Why? Because cheating is, it's like a lifesaver. Yeah, but when you cheat, you don't actually learn, right? So everything that you know, all that high score, all that flying numbers that you get, they aren't real, and they are not actually uh, your capability. So why lie anyway? I understand that some people cheat because they are just not interested in that subject. Maybe just to skip ahead to do actually what they want, but still it does not say the truth about the performance, and after a certain time it can backfire on you. I have a friend who cheated on a science exam, and things doesn't go did not go very well with him. He got banned from the school and have to move away. So it not just that it affects you, but it's also can potentially ruin your life or just make everything around you harder, because if you get caught, right, you will have to pay for the price. Do movies teach us useful things?
Yeah, I mean, many like my friends actually film buff usually always say that they learn a lot from movies, from movies lesson and from the plot. And also yeah, I think it's actually true that movie can teach us some really useful lesson related to real life. For example, you can see a lot of films, Vietnamese film on TV, on VTV, and actually, not all of them is for the elder people, for all the adults. Actually, movies, some movies are usually related to real life dilemma, or some of the uh, situation related to your family, for example. So I mean, actually, you can learn from that a lot. You can you can take that for example in the future, in your future ahead. And yeah, I mean, actually it's quite, actually some scene from that is quite mandatory. So yeah, I totally agree that movie teaches some useful things. So yeah, last question: is history not beneficial first?
Well, honestly, I don't think that learning history is a waste at all. But the way people, the current education system teach us is waste. Why do we need to keep, remembering those useless numbers that only serve as a way to get high score? Why do we need to learn about these characters when we will forget about them in the next year after the exam? It's just not the how you should get people to be interested in history, right? It's so it is the way they teach, but when it comes to the benefits, it gives you a lot. For example, even if those boring things that you learn in school, like those unification war or crusade, uh, yeah, those things, World War I, Two, it may seem just very lame, but actually they are still their warfare tactics can be applied in real life. And uh, nowadays a lot of military force are still bringing those uh, old war as a example for modern military tactic, right? And on the other field, like medication, we can certainly learn a lot from the past. For example, did you know that the simple method of uh, blood clotting to prevent the blood from, you know, flowing out the wound and kill you, they get lost in the past once. And for centuries, people use melting rock and uh, the wax, super hot wax to pour directly into wound or whatever that is, the thing that you use to make rope. Yeah, and they pour it directly on the wound. Yeah, as you can probably guess, it is not a very safe way to save someone from a scratch or stuff. And then later, they then discover bandage again through um, the discovery of certain artifacts and books, and yeah, they recover bandage, and so now we have one of the most common medication method to the blood clotting. So things like that. There are a lot of the thing I want to say is that there are a lot of knowledge has been uh, fade with time, and our job when learning history is to collect those back and to further, you know, for innovations, of course. So yeah, we can benefit from history, and that is the end of the test.